I call the Marlington Local School District Board of Education regular meeting to order on September 3rd, 2020 at 7:00 p.m. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The reading of the mission statement will be by Mrs. Danielle Stevens.
In collaboration with staff, community, parents, and students, the Marlington Local School District will develop lifelong learners who understand and apply knowledge and demonstrate excellence in pursuing the highest standards with effective intervention to challenge every student. Thank you.
This is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's businesses and is not to be considered a public community meeting. Dr. Main, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Gabrick?
Here.
Mr. Hagan?
Here.
Ms. Humphries?
Here.
Dr. Mason?
Here.
Ms. Stevens?
Here.
Adoption of the meeting agenda. Are there any additions or corrections?
None from me.
Is there a motion to recommend the Marlington Local Board of Education adopt the following agenda for the September 3rd, 2020 meeting?
So moved.
A second.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll. You're muted. Patty, you're muted.
Work on that. Okay. Mrs. Gabrick?
Yes.
Mr. Hagan?
Yes.
Mrs. Humphrey?
Yeah.
Dr. Mason?
Yes.
Mrs. Stevens?
Yes.
Approved 5-0.
Public participation. Dr. Main, was there any public participation submitted to you prior to the meeting?
No requests were submitted.
Thank you. Special presentations. Mr. Reno Contepelli.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. My name is Reno Contepelli. I'm with the Ohio School Board Association. I'm the Northeast Regional Manager, which means part of my job is to make sure that all the 19 counties and 225 schools get the services from OSBA. If you have a problem, I'm kind of like your liaison to call and make sure that you're getting your policies, your legislative updates, and so on, stuff like that. Just to give you a couple real quick updates, October 7th, I'll be having my fall conference. October 7th will be a fall conference. It's going to be virtual. It's free. All you have to sign up, but we'll have a legislative update. We'll have an OSBA update, what's going on with Capitol Conference. And then I have Kevin Locke from Pebbles and Wagner, who's going to give a COVID-19 update with schools. So what's hot out there, what lawsuits are out there, and then he'll take some questions and answer from schools. So that's going to be October 7th at 7 o'clock. Just go on the OSBA website and sign up for the fall conference. And if you haven't heard, Capitol Conference this year will be virtual. Same dates, 7th through 10th, be that Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. They're going to have about 60 breakout sessions and a couple other classes in there. So once you register, if you miss a class, they're going to stay online and virtual till December 31st. So remember how you go to Capitol Conference and you want to go to 5 classes and you're going to have one because it's at 9 o'clock on a Monday. Well, now those classes will all be online virtual till December 31st. So if you haven't registered, you should be getting more notice on that. And then if you're the delegate for Marlington, that meeting will be the last Thursday in October. It's going to be at night, sometime around 6:30. And they're going to have some other breakout sessions in October and the first week of November to walk everybody through the delegate assembly and the virtual conference. But thank you for having me. Because of the COVID-19, we only could have one of our spring conference. We couldn't have our second spring conference. But at our second spring conference, Madam President, we would have presented you with a couple awards. The first one is that we do service awards for those board members who have 10 years of service and more at 5-year increments, And we actually had a board member this year do 45 years. So it's something to shoot for. I can see everybody going, no way, not 45 years. But we would have presented you with this nice 15-year certificate saying thank you for being on the board for 15 years. That's a heck of an accomplishment, because out of the 225 schools I have in my area, I think only about less than 10 were in their 15th year this year. So congratulations on 15 years.
Thank you.
And then the big award is the Award of Achievement. Let me just show you the certificate here, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then you would get this nice little pin that goes with that. I don't know if you can see in my camera. But the Award of Achievement is a point system for board members who do stuff on a local, state level and do all those continuing education classes. And out of my region, I only had 10 board members out of 225 schools. And Carolyn, you were one out of maybe about 50 board members statewide. So this is a heck of an accomplishment. Not many board members can get to this level. So Carolyn, on behalf of the Ohio School Board Association, congratulations on winning the Award of Achievement. And if you want, I can mail it to your house or mail it to the school, however you want me to do it.
Either way is fine. I just want to thank you, and it's been an honor to serve this community and serve the school district. And I want to thank OSBA and the Marlington Local School District who've made this award possible. So thanks to everyone for that.
Congratulations, Carolyn.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Carolyn. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Contepelli. I appreciate that a lot. All right, Dr. Scheffler, back to school 2020, 2021.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Congratulations, Mrs. Gabrick. Thanks for your service. OSBA is a great organization, and thanks for your involvement. We need that involvement, and they keep us posted and keep us educated and all those good things. So just a little quick back to school message. We are very anxious for the kids to return to school on Tuesday. We are ready. We've been working very hard, and we are anxious to see the smiling faces, even though they will be behind the mask. And we had our convocation today with all of the employees. I think it went very well. We introduced our theme of Marlington in motion and kind of all rowing in the same direction. Everybody got a little oar. So if you weren't able to make it this morning, that's fine. I'll make sure you get one of those little oars. And we will be talking more about that as the year goes on. We're ready to open. The campus looks great. I gave a little shout out to our custodial staff. They work really hard over the summer, and they're kind of unsung heroes because it looks like everything is just all over the place, and you think, my goodness, we're not going to be ready. And then all of a sudden it's beautiful. And they've done a great job. They were a little short-staffed this summer, so they've really taken on a lot. So thanks to them and to the hard work and to our grounds crew for keeping things great. Marlboro Elementary is ready to rock and roll. We passed our last inspection, which was the kitchen, and that was Wednesday. And we are ready to have our students on Tuesday and to reopen Marlboro. The other buildings as well are just ready to go. So we're excited about that, and we're ready to start school.
Thank you, Dr. Scheffler.
You're welcome.
Old business, under new revised deleted board policies, is there a motion to approve the second reading and adoption of the board policy 0169.1 for public participation?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I move to amend the policy to correct item B, and that will be corrected to, the first sentence is correct. Anyone having a legitimate interest in the actions of the board may participate during the public portion of the meeting. And then there should be a period, and the second portion of that sentence stricken and replaced with persons wishing to provide their comments in writing as an attachment to the minutes shall submit their document to the treasurer at least 5 business days prior to the regular meeting. Is there a second on that motion?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the amendment? This is to correct it to what we had discussed at the last meeting and proposed at the first reading.
What are the basically the change or how this has changed? Can there be like a summary of
Yes. Of everything or just this amendment?
Yeah, of the kind of overall.
Okay. Right now, we're discussing the amendment. So once we flip back to the regular one, we can do a summary overall. So the amendment, we're striking and shall submit to the treasurer, which didn't have a time frame, in writing prior to the meeting and their comments for inclusion in the minutes. So this is just changing that sentence to the one that I read. That is what we discussed at the last meeting. Is there further discussion on the amendment? Patty, will you please call the roll on the amendment?
Mrs. Gabrick,
Yes.
Mr. Hagan,
Yes.
Ms. Humphries,
Yes.
Dr. Mason,
Yes.
Mrs. Stevens.
Yes.
Passes 5-0.
Then is there further discussion on the original motion as amended, which will include correcting item B and if you bring up your policy, the policy 169 as it was, or as it is right now, you can align it with this one. The first one, there is no change at every regular meeting that, Karen, that is what we're doing now. The second one, public participation shall be permitted. That I believe is the same as what we have. We changed the policy to include that individuals can submit their comments in writing and have them attached to the meeting once, even though they would present it publicly at the meeting, they are allowed to submit it and have it attached to the minutes. They're required to give their name and address with the when they introduce themselves. The participants limited to 3-minute duration. They may speak only once on the same topic until all others who wish to speak have spoken on that topic during the same meeting. Let's see. We're allowing audio and video recordings. I'm not sure if that was in the last meeting or in the last policy. And then we propose to have some additional items under I. Oh, and then at the very bottom, the total limit is 20 minutes. Did you have specific questions or
Oh, I just thought it would be good to go back through it.
okay.
Reminder.
Is that clear enough, or do you want me to read through the items in I?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Patty, please call the roll. This will be on the accepting policy 169.1 as amended for item B.
Ms. Gabrick,
Yes.
Mr. Hagan,
Yes.
Ms. Humphries. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Mason,
Yes.
Ms. Stevens.
Yes.
Approved 5-0.
New business, new revised, deleted, and board policies. Policy committee update. The policy committee met on August 26th and went over several policies. We are getting up to date on some policies that needed passed. Some policies are being revised. Policies that specifically align to the law are going to be deleted, and we are just going to be following the law rather than making a subsequent policy. Also, we'll just follow the law, and then there's some updates. Dr. Mike or Mrs. Sutton, would you like to provide any detail on the policy meeting?
Mrs. Sutton, did you want to start?
I can if you'd like me to, or if I can
You
just.
don't have to. If you have anything, I thought I'd let you go first.
Yeah, no, I can go through all of them if you'd like, or Mrs. Gabrick just did a fine job talking about bringing us up to date. So whichever you would like. I can go through the memo that was provided to us and talk about the policies that we're deleting.
No,
So
I don't think we need to do that. Just if there was anything you wanted to add.
Nope. 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 I'm glad that we're getting them cleaned up and getting on time again.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight too for everybody that most of these are lawmakers in Columbus. Columbus give us some directives, or sometimes Ohio Department of Ed, and then we have to update our policies, and then we make sure those are concurrent with the law. And sometimes, policies become obsolete, so we want to make sure we go through, delete those. And I appreciated the work of the policy group, Mrs. Gabrick, Mr. Hagan, and Mrs. Sutton, and then also Lee Packey, who helped a great deal. So I think we're really in really good shape for closing out 2020 with policy. So I'm very, very pleased.
Is there a motion to approve policy 2266, non-discrimination on the basis of sex in district programs or activities, at the first reading by adopting the policy as an emergency issue pursuant to bylaw 0131?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
So this is the Title IX update.
Correct. This is our Title IX update.
And Mrs. Sutton or Dr. Shuffler, if you would just comment on why it's important to adopt this as an emergency at the first reading.
So this Title IX update is actually a federal issue, and quite a few things changed this year. Title IX is a non-discrimination on the basis of sex, and it includes a few other items. And we needed to get this into our policy. I think we probably should have done this just maybe a week or two ago was the deadline. So we want to make sure we have it in our policy. And again, we followed the recommendations by federal government and by our NEOLA, our policy folks, by our attorney. And I feel like the policy is pretty solid. So that's why it's just a one reading. We really need to get this one adopted.
Dr. Mean, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Gabrick,
Yes.
Mr. Hagan,
Yes.
Mrs. Humphries,
Yes.
Dr. Mason,
Yes.
Ms. Stevens.
Yes.
Approved 5-0.
Is there a motion to approve the first reading of the following board policies? And those are listed in your agenda, starting with policy 1520 and going through policy 8800, those as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Mrs. Sutton or Dr. Scheffler, do you want to make any comments on these policies or point anything out?
I don't have anything further, just what I said before, getting them in line or deleting what we don't need anymore.
Correct. I'm glad we're getting them through and getting all caught up. So I appreciate the work of everyone.
Is there any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Gabrick,
Yes.
Mr. Hagan,
Yes.
Mrs. Humphries,
Yes.
Dr. Mason,
Yes.
Mrs. Stevens,
Yes.
approved 5-0.
Dr. Scheffler, do you want to go to superintendent's agreement?
Yes, so I have before you a superintendent agreement that involves a kindergarten student that is a Marlington resident going to Louisville schools. It doesn't affect the district any more than an open enrollment. I think in the 12 years I've been a superintendent, I've done 2 of these. This may be the second. And this needs to be done. Sometimes there are special circumstances, and we always want to work with the child, what's in the best interest of the child. And this one falls in that category. So as I said, we don't do many of these anymore in the state, but this one we need to do.
Is there a motion to approve the recommendation for the superintendent's agreement as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Gabrick,
Yes.
Mr. Hagan,
Yes.
Mrs. Humphries,
Yes. Yes.
Dr. Mason,
Yes.
Mrs. Stevens,
Yes.
approved 5-0.
Discussion on the OSBA Virtual Capital Conference, which was briefly introduced by Mr. Contapilli. Dr. Scheffler, do you want to make some comments on this?
Sure. I know we're not used to doing the OSB conference in this manner, but I had a little conversation with Mrs. Gabrick, and let me know if you're interested in attending some of the virtual sessions. I didn't know till tonight, till Reno mentioned it, that we'll be able to go back to those then through to December. And that's, if there's one good thing about it, that's it, because sometimes sessions are full and we can't get in there. So let me know. Unfortunately, that won't be, the kind of camaraderie that we get to have with others around the state this year. But I think there's still valuable information. So if you'd like me to register you, can do that. That's no problem at all. And if you need anything special with the conference, I can get you information on that.
Okay. I do plan to attend, so if you can put me down for the conference, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. And you don't have to let me know tonight. We've got time, but I'll remind you too.
Treasurer's agenda, Dr. Patty Main.
The one item under the treasurer's agenda is to recommend the motion to approve the minutes of the following meetings for July 9th, July 20th, July 30th, and July 31st.
Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's recommendation for the minutes?
So move. Second. Oh.
Either way.
Is there any discussion?
I do have some comments. As I was reading through the meeting minutes of July 9th, was reminded, seeing the minutes, that I had asked that Mr. Markling bill us monthly. And I did check a couple of weeks back, and I don't think we've received another bill since the first bill for 3 months. So that was at least like 2.5 months ago. I think that that's important that we're billed monthly. I think that's a timely thing, and we should request that. I'm requesting that. So I would hope that he would comply with that. And the other thing was, I wanted to ask Dr. Main, if, maybe for our next regular meeting, that you can maybe give us a little update on our progress with the purchase services spending, because that also was in those minutes. Mrs. Bruger had a big concern about the previous amount we were piling up there with our purchase services was 4.5 million, and the projection was changed in the 5-year forecast to 3.9 million, and she was very concerned about that because it did not make sense financially, according to the minutes. Didn't make sense financially or follow historical spending trends. And I'm concerned about spending that. I mean, everything that we are doing is just spending money either normally or even more. And I think we need to talk about or be looking at this for their bottom line. We've got a verbal commitment to fix Lexington and Washington, and I'm concerned that that's not going to happen if we continue to go along at the pace we're going and not look at the finances. So I'm asking if you would pay attention to the purchase services and be able to let us know next meeting how we're doing with that.
I will do that.
Karen, do you want that? Are you amending the July 9th meeting to include all this? Because I'm not sure that we had all this discussion on the purchase service at that particular meeting. But are you asking to amend the minutes? And if so, could you present the amendment?
No, I said that reminded me of things to bring up for discussion.
Is there any further discussion on the minutes? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Gabrick,
Yes.
Mr. Hagan,
Yes.
Mrs. Humphrey,
Yes.
Dr. Mason,
Abstain. I wasn't at the July 9th meeting.
Mrs. Stevens,
Yes.
approved 4, 1 abstain.
Personnel consent agenda, Dr. Scheffler.
Okay. I have on personnel extended days for the following certified staff, and those are in the contract, but the board, we put those on the agenda for the board to approve. Those are for this coming school year, not the past school year. I have a couple of certified hires. I have to apologize. I made a mistake when we put Eric Kendall on the steps. I was a little bit confused with the way Marlington does their steps. So he should not be on 9. He should be on 10. Then I have Melissa Reynolds for the school year as a title tutor. And Joe Welker. Joe is taking a long-term sub, 1-year limited contract. And we need to hire Joe as our employee, and then he'll just be on a limited contract for a year in that long-term sub position. And then classified, we have Christina Kiko for latchkey and cafeteria, and Jonathan Myers, tech assistant. And then you have your list of fall migrant program hires. And let me see here. We have a couple of supplementals, ticket manager, student council, and class advisor for class of 2024.
Is there a motion to accept the personnel consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Ms. Gabrick,
Yes.
Mr. Hagan,
Yes.
Mrs. Humphries,
Yes.
Dr. Mason,
Yes.
Mrs. Stevens.
Yes.
Approved 5-0.
Announcements, Dr. Scheffler?
If I could just say before I do the announcements, that I'll work with Dr. Main for the financial update for next time. And if anyone wants a specific area, let me know. Now that school's underway, we can, not that we weren't concentrating on those things, but we'll concentrate a little more now that Patty's been here. We can wrap our arms around those things and give you a more solid update. Remember, Monday's Labor Day. Everyone have a great Labor Day. And then the first day of school will be Tuesday, then the 8th. And first day for kindergarten is September 11th.
Dr. Schroeder, back to the financial update. I think it might be good at some point to, rather than just focus on purchase services, maybe if you and Patty could take some time and go over the full 5-year forecast, and maybe, once you have an opportunity to go through all the pieces and parts and give us just an overview of the full 5-year forecast, as well as where we are with the budget and how we're going to proceed forward. So we have a full picture overall. And I know that's going to take a little bit of time, but I think at some point, I think that would be a goal that we would like to see.
I agree. And I think hopefully by October, sometime in October, we can do that, at the latest early November. So we'll work on it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Is there any other business for this meeting?
I just wanted to let everybody know once again that Saturday is the parade in Marlboro to honor the those who have served our country, as well as those who serve in the community, such as the police, fire, and road department, and Marlboro volunteers. So that's going to be this Saturday at 1 o'clock in Marlboro Township. If anybody's interested, they should be able to find more information. I think there's a publication in the Live Review. So hope to see anybody out there.
I did want to add, folks, and Mr. Hagan, we will have a school bus representing the school district. So if students or folks that want to ride, they're more than welcome, but you have to let me know tomorrow so we can get them in the lineup.
Okay. Is that any K through 12 student then, or?
I would say, why not? We're not going to, I think we talked about they're not going to throw candy or anything this year, but if they want to ride, let me know. Obviously, we have to social distance, so yeah, we can't have a ton of kids on there, but we could put some kids on there.
That sounds nice.
Is there any other business?
Just once again, Carolyn, I'd like to congratulate you and just thank you for everything that you've done for Marlington. It's above and beyond, so thank you.
Well, thank you, Daniel. The next board meeting will be September 17th at 7:00 p.m. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion?
I was wanting to talk again about having one meeting a month. I think out of respect for our administration, our staff, parents, everybody going through this thing that we're still going through, that we should go back to one meeting a month. These meetings are like relatively short. We're at 7:33 right now, half-hour meetings. And rather than cause all the work to be done for two separate times, we should go back to once a month. I think that's appropriate.
My only comment.
Excuse me, the motion on the floor is to adjourn. Let's vote. If you don't want to adjourn, we'll go back into business. Or we can add this to the agenda for the next meeting.
Let's do that.
So let's call the roll. And if it fails, we'll further discuss it. If not, we will put it on the agenda for next meeting.
Mrs. Gabrick?
Yes.
Mr. Hagan?
Yes.
Mrs. Humphries?
Yes.
Dr. Mason?
Yes.
Ms. Stevens?
Yes.
Approved 5-0.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you very much. Good night.